topic. Some dude asked me, right? Appreciate him for asking me. This is a great question he asked. You always say that most people aren't going to make it. Can you talk about what are the major hangups when sticking to a plan long term and how to overcome them? So here's the thing, man. It's really not that fucking deep, man. Like a lot of you guys, the reason you don't reach your goals, I work with a lot of people. The reason they don't reach their goals, it's not really trying to stick to a plan long term or, trying to find the right macro ratio or trying to do the right diet. It's about your fucking mindset and your standards. A lot of people just have low ass standards. They'll be like, hey man, like when can I eat unhealthy? When can I have a cheat meal? If your standards are to eat unhealthy or you're controlled by food, you're never gonna fucking make it in this journey. If you're controlled mentally by food and you don't control what you consume, you're literally never gonna make it. A lot of people just have these low ass fucking standards when it comes to eating right or what they eat on a daily basis. They're just like, yeah man, why can't I eat this? Why can't I eat that? Because those foods are literally poison. If you try to continually rationalize why it's okay to eat healthy, or you keep trying to incorporate eating unhealthy, or why it's okay to eat unhealthy, and you keep trying to incorporate eating unhealthy, you're never gonna fucking make it to your goals, guys. That's just how it is, right? Because in reality, you should not be trying to convince yourself to eat healthy. It's the bare fucking minimum. The way I look at it is, if I eat healthy, I'll be a healthier person. If I don't eat healthy, I'm harming my health. It's literally that fucking simple. And when you don't eat healthy, what you're doing is you're literally putting your health at risk. And every time you go to the doctor, they're gonna be like, oh, your insulin is getting, your insulin resistance is going up. Then eventually you have type 2 diabetes. So honestly, this lifestyle, fitness lifestyle, is just being proactive. And it's just having fucking standards for yourself. All right. I'm not gonna ever try to convince somebody who's out of shape to be in shape. If you're out of shape, that should be enough motivation to get in shape. Like you shouldn't need this constant motivation, right? You could have some motivation in the beginning, some David Goggins, some Napoleon Hill books, reading different books, looking at different motivation. But if you constantly need external motivation, you have no internal motivation, you're never gonna fucking make it. Because here's the thing, if you don't genuinely want something, then when that moment comes, when there's a moment of weakness, when things get tough, you're not gonna execute that shit. There's a 0% chance you're gonna execute that shit. Because honestly, what keeps me going on a daily basis is literally my standards, right? Because I know the alternative to eating healthy is what? Eating unhealthy. I know what happens when you eat unhealthy in the long term. You're gonna have type 2 diabetes, you're gonna have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all that shit, obviously high risk of stroke. But in reality, you're gonna look like shit. You're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna have low energy. A lot of the issues that you guys even talk about, which is why, like when you guys always ask me about, oh, how's the woman in Thailand, or how do you get a woman, all that goofy shit, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Because once you've really dealt with, enough women, let's just say you've dated at least 200 women. Once you've dated at least 200 women, that's a decent number, I think. Or I don't know if that's too low or some shit like that. But anyways, I think if you've dated at least 200 women, then you kind of get the gist of it. You're like, yeah. Honestly, once you date 50, you kind of get the gist of it. It's like, okay, cool, right? It's really more valuable to find a wife or someone who's really down for you. But obviously in today's society, I'm not going to lie, that shit's pretty much impossible, right? You'll literally be looking, for lean people at, you'll be looking at lean, it's like looking for lean people at Crumble. It's just pretty rare, all right? Now, like I said, it's your standards. What you do on a daily basis is based on your standards, because the real part of this journey that nobody talks about is integrity. What the fuck is integrity? It's what you do when no one's looking, bro. Like when no one's looking, like yesterday, I went for a squat max. Nobody was fucking looking, bro. I was pushing myself. No one was looking. I'm constantly pushing myself, trying to get better. Nobody's looking, right? A lot of you guys show your meals on your story and shit like that. I don't really show my meals on my story anymore because it's the same shit all the time. But you guys show your meals on your story when you eat good, because most of the time you eat bad. So it's like, oh, this is an accomplishment for me. Here's the thing. What you do 90% of the time is going to dictate your results, all right? Not what you do 5% of the time. A lot of you guys eat healthy for 2 weeks and you're like, oh my God, I want to get lean. Guess what? 2 weeks, you ate healthy. The past 52 weeks, you ate like shit 90% of the time. What's your percentage now? That means 2 weeks out of 54 weeks overall, because 52 weeks last year and 2 weeks this year, 2 weeks out of 54 weeks, you ate good. That's not enough to get lean, all right? That's not enough to get lean. It's just not. If you ate like shit 90 to 100% of the time for 10 years, 2 weeks is not going to undo that. And then the thing is, you guys need to really understand this. I'm going to keep saying this, but I want you guys to understand this. Because a lot of stuff I say, you guys hear, you're like, oh, maybe. Listen. If I eat, I'm not even kidding. And yeah, I've done this shit before. Multiple times. If I eat 5,000 to 7,000 calories for like 7 to 10 days. Guess what? I'm going to gain some water weight. I'm probably going to get stronger, gain some muscle glycogen, maybe gain some muscle I lost in the cut, maybe gain like 1 to 2 pounds of fat, right? Literally 7 to 10 days of eating 5,000, 7,000 calories, whatever I want to, right? That's because for the past 5 to 10 years, 90% of the time my nutrition was locked in. 90% of the time my nutrition was locked in. Let's just say the past 3 years. Past 3 years, my nutrition was locked to fucking 90% of the time, right? When you guys eat really, really healthy for 2 weeks and you don't see results, you're like, oh my God, like I should be lean by now. No, the fuck you shouldn't. You know why? For the past 3 years, you have been eating like absolute shit 95 to 100% of the time. So when you average it out, what have you been doing most of the time? You've been eating like shit. So what I see with a lot of people is they lack self-awareness. They're not aware of how long they were eating like shit. And as soon as they start to have healthier habits, they expect instant results. They want those instant results. They chase instant gratification constantly. You know, we got the lottery, we got, you know, Instagram, we got TikTok, all this fast, you know, content. You got a lot of people promoting getting lean in like 3 days. Here's the thing. You can lose a lot of body fat and gain a lot of muscle in like 2 weeks if you're on steroids. So the thing is, these people on steroids are pushing this shit and you guys are like, oh, it's possible. It's like, no, it's possible for people on steroids, yes, but for the regular person, no. So you guys have these unrealistic expectations that you put on yourself and you don't realize how bad that you were eating and the lack of exercise that you had this whole time. So here's the thing, guys. If you want to actually succeed on this journey, number one is don't quit. That's the hardest thing for people to do. People quit all the time. If you don't quit, you literally can't lose. 0% chance you lose if you don't quit. Literally. Because here's the thing, you're going to fail over and over, but failure is just a prerequisite to success. Because when you fail, you learn more about yourself, you learn what you struggle with, you learn more about the journey, all those things. All right. So failure is necessary and it's really, really, really going to help you. So make sure that you realize that failure is a prerequisite to success and you don't just quit. All right. That's number one. Number two is going to be your mindset. How do you get your mindset locked in? First, you just want to look at things with common fucking sense. All right. What's going to help you look at things with common sense is reading books, watching different podcasts, watching, you know, different influencers that actually have positive messages. But you're going to realize like being healthy is common sense. Like it just is. What's the benefits of being unhealthy? Shorter lifespan, worse lifespan, unhealthy, feeling sluggish, bad gut health, bad mental health, mental fogginess, all that stuff. There's no benefits. You don't inspire anybody. You don't inspire yourself. There's literally no benefits to being unhealthy, except that you got that instant gratification hit that you're going to have to continually get. It's literally an addiction. All right. So the reality, guys, is if you really want to reach your goals and you don't want to fail, guess what? Realize that you're going to fail, but you have to keep going. Learn from your failures. All right. The reason people quit is because, which is the only way to lose, by the way, is to quit. The reason people quit is because guess what? They realize, like after failing once, they realize like, oh shit, I gotta be consistent. Oh shit, I gotta change my identity. Oh shit, this, that. That's what they realize. And that shit, the process is gonna make you a man, bro. The process is gonna make you a man. You can't skip the process. Usually, the thing I notice with people who succeed versus people who fail, when people who succeed, when they go through, you know, hurdles, they're like, damn, I gotta get through this because this will make me stronger. People who fail, they're like, damn, bro. Damn, I'm gonna have to do this long term. Nah, I want to go back to eating my candy, man. This is too hard, man. What the fuck? Like goofy shit like that, right? Literally goofy shit like that. They don't have that ability to delay gratification. It's really that simple, all right? And yes, majority of people will fail on the journey because guess what? They give into their cravings. They let food control them. They let their emotions control them. They do things based on their emotions, not based on their goals.